Hello, everyone. Welcome to week two of Cloth Cats Get Your Act Together with me, Jack Winn. I'll be teaching you guitar again today on a wonderful, miserable day. So I would like to get into this week's lesson with just we'll be gonna be doing a recap on what we sort of did last week, and also we'll be looking at some new bar chords in a different position using our open A position. This week I'm using my microphone, so I checked on the video I did last week, and it was a little bit distorted. I wasn't totally happy with the quality of the recording, so I've gone for a microphone this week. So hopefully we'll be sounding a little bit better. Just before we get started, I'll just recap on what we did last week. So just make sure everyone who's here, who's signing in, is in tune. That we've got an app that looks something like that. Maybe this one's called Guitar Tuner. Tuner is in the fish, Tuna. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and check my strings. I think I'm pretty in tune, but we'll do it together. So we'll start on our low E string. I can see that I'm too low, so I'm gonna tune up. That's that. I'm clicking in tune, and then we're gonna go on our next string, our low A string. Back down to D, the third one. It's alright if you didn't tune in last week, that's completely fine. Because, like I said, we're going to be recapping on everything we did last week, and so you will be brought up to speed. But thank you for joining in. Hope everyone's well and making the most of all their time in lockdown. So sorry, that was going right ahead. I'm now my B's in tune. I'm just gonna go right ahead and tune my top E. I always like to check I'm in tune with a nice open E chord. Some people like to check other chords. So yeah, before we got started, like I said, I'm just gonna briefly sort of go over what we're gonna be doing in this week's lesson. We're gonna be continuing our work with bar chords, but I'm also gonna backtrack a little bit, and we're gonna be going over all the basic open chords that you would find common in music. Um, so yeah, so I'll get into some of these open chords right after we do, and just we'll do a quick warm up this week, because I'm gonna hope that some of you might have already been playing guitar, which should be good. So yeah, so we're gonna start with just a simple chromatic ascending um, progression on. We'll start on this week though, because I want to talk a little bit about some of these notes and what they're called. So we're gonna start not on our low E or F. We're going to count up five. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to get to our note A. Just going to turn that off there. I always like to make my mouse sound like a kick drum as well, just for those that are interested. So yeah, we're going to do a chromatic ascending thing going up the neck this time till we get to our 12th fret here, our octave E. So instead of going up the neck here, we're going to go up the fretboard. Okay, so whenever you're ready, everyone's got their nice open A sounding nice. So we're going to use all the fingers, and don't really worry about speed. All I'm looking for is the clarity of notes, so a nice clear sounding note like this. So I'm going to go right ahead and start. I'm going to go at my pace. I'll go nice and slow, and just join in when you're ready. So we're going to go A, B flat, B, C. And then once we get to our C note there, we're going to take our first finger and we're going to move it up a semitone to get on the B flat, and to do the same again. Once you get to there, you're going to take your first finger, move it up a semitone to there. Like so on and so forth. And I'm doing at the minute with my pick. Some of you might be using fingers. I'm using a pick and I'm doing all downstrokes. If you feel comfortable enough and confident enough, you might want to try this what's called alternate picking. So I will be doing one down followed by one up. So if I'm on this position here on that C sharp note, I'll be going down and then up on the D and down on the D sharp and up on the E, finishing up like that. So together, if we just try that one more time, I'm going to try alternate picking. So I'm going down, up, down, up. Okay, so I'm going to go, and then I'm going to move it up a semitone, and again, and again. And should finish up there. Yeah, and we're just going to do another little stretching exercise, because I wanted to do a little rhythmic exercise this week to bring in some of this hand action, get this nice and warmed up as well. But we'll just finish up with a nice stretching exercise. So we'll go back down the neck here and we'll start on our low F with our first finger. So we're going to get a nice note like that, hopefully. So we're going to move this with our first finger. And if you tuned in last week, we did this warm up last week also. So what we're doing here, what we're looking for is our first note on the F with our first finger, and we're going to take our second finger and we're going to move up what's called a tone. So the distance between two notes here is a semitone, unless it's between C to B. It's a semitone. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving up a tone. So we're going to be going with our first finger there on F, and we're going to take our second finger, put it to that note G, and we're going to take our third finger, put it to that note A, and we're going to take our little pinky and finish up on that note B. And we're going to repeat this process going up the string. So I'm going to go on this note here, this is our B flat. We're going to go on the note C. We're going to go on the note D. We're going to finish up on the note E. And we're going to do it down here as well. And then we're going to go here as well. Just stretching out these. What this does is just stretches out these fingers and gets them all thinking, gets your brain thinking as well. And once we get to the top note here, we'll finish up there. Okay, so hopefully I'll give you guys a second just to get your heads around that and hopefully complete that warm-up activity. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a nice rhythm exercise. So I don't know if you're using one of these, which is a pick, or you might have heard it being called a plectrum. I call it a pick personally. I don't think there's no right or wrong answer. So what we're going to be doing is I want you to get your hand and deaden these strings. So what I mean by that is you want to apply the slightest of pressure. You don't really need much pressure. So you're getting a sound that sounds like something like that. And what we're going to be doing now is we're just going to take this. So you should have a dead sound. So all I'm doing, if you look there, is just placing my hand on the strings and deadening the notes. So there's no sound coming through. I'm not fretting any strings to get any notes, just a nice dead sound like that. And what we're going to use this for is just a nice rhythm exercise. So we'll do a little bit of a call and response type thing. So I'm going to do a rhythm, and hopefully after that you guys can just try and mimic that rhythm to the best of your ability. Don't worry if you don't get it totally right. It's all about warming up and practicing anyway. So we're going to do a little something, start off with. So I'm going to repeat after you. I'll do it one more time. And we'll follow on to our second one. And if you want to hear that one more time. So with that one, I'm going down, down, up, down, finishing up on a nice downstroke there. And we'll do one more. Let's see. We'll do a nice offbeat one here. We'll go. So we're going to go counting in four beat rhythm. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All upstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. We got it there. Yeah. So today, I just wanted to point out that I've not said our new disclaimer, which I will say right now very quickly. Racing ahead of myself as per usual. Um, yeah, so if you are under 18, tell your parents you are doing this session. Feel free to ask questions and make comments, but stay safe online by just using your first name. Don't give out your contact details, and I hope you enjoy today's session. Yeah, so that's that one, guys, and we'll leave it there. Yeah, so I wanted to get in today where we're going to be looking at continuing our work with barcodes. So last week we were looking at barcodes in what's called the open E position. So remember, if we got just a little recap for those of you who didn't tune in last week, our open E chord would usually sound something like this. So we'd have our first finger on the G string there, on the first fret. We'd take our ring finger and we put it on the second fret on the D string there, and this middle finger here will just slide on top of that on the B, on the A string on the second fret as well. So it's going to sound a little something like what we're going to do with this chord now is we're going to play the exact same chord, but we want to free up our first finger. So we're going to replace it with, we're going to play that one there, the second finger, and then we're going to put that there. Okay, so still got the same, but then we've got this first finger free. And then what we can do with that is now we can slide this up. So if I slide this up 1 onto our F position, what I want to see this finger here, I just want to see what's called barring. So you bar that. So I'm going to fret all of these, but keeping these in position. So it's going to sound a little something like that. And that's our first bar chord of today. And for those of you who didn't tune in last week, we spoke about looking at the back of the guitar and how your thumb plays a really important role in playing bar chords, because it allows you to engage these muscles and place pressure on these between your thumb and your fingers there between the wood of the fretboard. So if you look there, I've got my pressure there like that. So it's going to sound a little something like that. Don't worry if you're getting a few like dead notes like that. Just if you're getting the basic concept of the shape, the clarity of the notes will come with practice, as everything does. And last week we were looking at a song by Radiohead, a song called Creep. I know it was put up in the comments next to it. I don't know if that could be put up again for all the people who maybe didn't tune in last week and maybe didn't catch that song. But we chose that song because it uses all these bar chords in what's called this E position. And it's quite a slow moving song in terms of the chord transition. So the chord moving between chord to chord, and it was a nice simple one to do in terms of that. So it would sound a little something like this. So there I'm moving on the third fret, 1, 2, 3, which is also the same as our G chord, but it's just got what's called different voicings. So if you notice, it sounds the same but slightly different. It's the same notes. Yeah, and that's that. So I'm gonna move on anyway now, because there's a lot I want to get through this week. I want to try and touch upon a new song, but I just wanted to quickly fire through before we get started on our new bar chord position, which is in our open A So a lot of you might be familiar with this opening. We've used it in a song we've done before, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. So we are familiar with this chord. If you're not familiar with it, I'll go through the notes now. It's just open A. So we're not playing this low E string. That's dead. And that's going to be our bass note there. We're going to go on the second fret with our first finger on the D, and then these fingers are just going to slot underneath on the G on the second fret and on the B on the second fret like that. But it's the exact same concept as what we did with our E chord to make our E bar chord position, and we're going to change that and we're going to play with these fingers like that. So that's just, we'll get into that in a minute. I just want to quickly go through all the nice open chords we can use. So we've got our E. We've been looking at that one. We've got our A, like so. And there's another one we can do our D. So our D is second fret on the G string, third fret on the B string, and second fret on the high E string. And with this one, you want to play your bass note as the open D there, so it's going to sound a little something like that, like so. I hope you're all sort of following with that. And then we've got our G, of course, which is starting. We lead with our middle finger on this one because it's going to go count up 3 to our G, like so. And we're going to play that on the third fret on the low E string. We're going to take our first finger and we're going to put it there on the second fret of the A string. And then we're going to take this ring finger and we're going to slide it on the top E there, if you can see there. And we'll put it all together. Sounds a little something like that. And last but not least, for our open chord positions, we've got our chord C, which is, we'll lead with our first finger. Yeah, if you look in the comments, someone's just put that song Radiohead by Creep. So we're going to lead with our first fret on the B string. We're going to take our second finger and it's going to go on the D string on the second fret. And our ring finger is going to just slide in on here on the third fret on our A string. So it's going to sound a little something like that. And those are our basic open chord positions that you will find. And the open chord position we're looking at making into a bar chord this week is our A. So if you just get back to that A like that. But what we're going to do with this one is we're going to switch it over and we're going to play it with these 3 fingers, like so. And now we're going to try and do our A chord bar, A position bar chords. And so what I want to do is I want you to find your A there. I want you to move that up 2. So go 1, 2. Oh, sorry, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So 3, yeah. So if you play it by itself, it sounds a little strange, like so. But what we're going to do is, remember, we're going to take this finger, and what this finger does, it acts as what's called a capo. I mentioned these last week. Really, really good tools to have. Really, 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 really easy to use. You just take them like that and slide them on the fret, like so. And then it changes what the pitch, so it gets higher, off and on. But anyway, back to our A chord, bar chord, A position bar chord. So once you've found your fret there, you should be on the 5th fret with these fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to take this first finger and we're just going to slide it on here. And it's going to sound a little something like that. So what I'm doing there, that's all on, like so. And these 3 are like this. And that is our A position. It is a C chord. So it sounds the same as a C chord, but we're playing it in the A position because it's the A, like so. But we're playing up here. And this is going to serve the first chord for the song, but we're going to try and look at today. It's a song by a band called Blink 182, and it's a song called All the Small Things. It's probably their most famous song they've got, and in my opinion, one of their best. And I'm sure some of you will know it. If you don't know it, go have a little check of it out. And it's gonna serve the purpose for our first chord for this song. So if you get that comfortable like that, find your fingers, and then our second chord, we're gonna go back to our E position that we touched on last week. So we're going to change it, and it's going to change now to a G. So we're going to take this, get in our E position like that, remember, and we're just going to play it here, like so, for our G chord. And our last chord in this progression, it's a 3-chord song. Our last chord in this progression, in that E position, we're going to slide it down to the 1st fret. So it's going to be on there. So altogether, it's going to sound something like this. All the small things, truth it's life things. She left me roses by the stairs, surprising me that she cares. Like. And there's a few different ways you can play this A position. Personally, I find one of my most comfortable ways to play it is not by doing it like that. It's by getting my pinky, or you could use your ring finger perhaps, and you're just gonna do. It looks like a power chord, but I'm getting all the notes in. So instead of a power chord C, which would just be our root there and our 5th there, so it would be our C and our G. It's going to be like that. Or you can play it if you feel it comfortable. I find this is my most favoured way to play bar chords in an A position, is using my pinky like that. So I'm going like that. So this finger is just fretting them 3, and this one's got the bass note covered. It's like so. And if you want to join in this song, we can. And you're finding bar chord, but you're finding these new chords that we've been discussing, or these new ways of playing the same chords that we've already been touching upon. We can do what's called a power chord. Now, a power chord is a simplified version of a full chord. So a full chord being a triad, tri meaning there's 3 notes in there. So if I was to play my lovely C chord on a keyboard, as you can see there, I'll be playing the notes C, E, and G like that. So it's got 3 notes. And with a power chord, all we're doing is you're taking out the 3rd note. So it's just an oct. So it's just got your 1st and your 5th. And they're called power chords. And you find these in lots of rock music. They're really popular because they've got a nice full sound. If you whack on some distortion or some overdrive or some fuzz, you get a really gnarly sound out of them. But we're going to play them on acoustic, so this will sound pretty cool. So you're going to take, if you're struggling with these open chord positions like that, you're going to take your 1st finger, get it on the C note there, on the 3rd fret, on the A string. And if you can take this finger here and just put it there on the 5th fret on the D string to give us our note G. And then all we're going to do now for this song is so that's going to be our 1st chord. And then we can take this and just place it on top. So that one now goes on the G, and this one now goes on the A string, but on the 5th fret. So that's our G power chord. And then we can just drop down 2 for our F power chord like that. So I'll do a very bad rendition of All the Small Things chorus so you can hear how it sounds with power chords. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights on, carry me on. keep your head still, I will go home. Da 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 da, ah, da da na 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 na, like that. And which makes it a little bit easier to wrap your head around if you're not looking at these full chords in the A position. So sorry, I'm just gonna have a little look at my notes. Yeah, so now what I wanted to touch upon as well is, I know we discussed last week making bar chords in the E position minor. Really easy to do. All you do is take your middle finger off, like so, make it major, make it minor, and it's a fairly similar concept to making our A position bar chords minor. So if you take our A chord there, to make it minor, what you do is called flattening the third. So the third note in the chord, we're going to flatten that by a semitone. So remember I said a semitone is the distance between one fret, like so. So we're going to be taking this and making it minor. So our third note in this case is here, is our note C. We're going to be taking that and just flattening it by a semitone. So it goes like that. So then you got, it's like our E position like that, but on our A minor. So our first finger would go there on the first fret on the B string, and our ring finger would go there on the second fret on the G string, and the third finger and the middle finger would go on the D string, like so. And that's how we make our A chord position into a minor chord. And so if I was to take that in relation to playing it up here, so we're there, you're just going to do the exact same thing, just swap it round. So just if you could just have a little go at practicing that, making that major to minor. So just have a little go, just changing those hands and getting those hands used to that thing. And I wanted to have a little talk about, maybe this is for people who are a little bit further on their journey in playing guitar. I wanted to talking about sevenths, and we know we touched upon playing sevenths in our E position last week, where we just take our pinky off. So it's got a different voicing. And so now I want to talk about playing major sevenths. So in our A position like this. So if I wanted to make this a major seventh, what I need to do is I need to, so we'll start with a dominant seventh, so like that, dominant seventh. Normally a chord A7. Okay, but going back to our C, if I wanted to make this A position an A7, a dominant 7, it's really simple. All you do is got that A nice A chord there, you take your middle finger off. So just have a little go at practicing that, making it A to A7. If you want to join me on the strumming pattern, I'm going down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down. So that's how we make that into what's called a dominant 7. Now, if we want to make that a major 7, what you need to do again is you need to take that note and you need to flatten it once more by a semitone. So we're going to sound a little something like this. You just know it's got a nice smoother tonality. Right, so we've got A, we've got A7, and we've got a major 7. Okay, and in relation to playing uh, small things, so we've got there normal, and we can play it like this. So I've got there, I'm using my pinky instead because it's a little bit easier. I'm just fretting that and putting that on the fifth string, on the fifth fret on the B string, and putting that on the fifth fret on the D string or the third string down, like so. And if I wanted to make a major 7th, I need to bring this middle finger back into play. So I need to put this one on the G string on the 4th fret. So it's going to look a little something like that. If you can see that close up, like so. So we've got C, we've got C7, and we've got C major 7. And those are just different variations. There's a lot more variations of playing chords, which we might well and truly touch upon later on as the weeks progress. But for now, I just wanted to keep it fairly simple, just by looking at 7ths and major 7ths and major and minor chords of the same chord. So if we just go back into our all the small things. So if you're struggling to do it like this, but you want to join in with the song, we could just play in our open C position, like that. So we could go all and then we're going to move, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're changing chord every 2 beats, basically. With this F as well, if we're struggling with this F, there's what I like to call a cheating F, or a lazy F, you might want to call it. So what we can do here is we can just take our first finger, and we're just going to do the basic building blocks of this chord. So we're going to take our first finger, put it there on the B. We're going to take our second finger, put it there on the G, on the second fret, and take our third finger there, and that's going to make up our F chord like that. If you can fret these two like so, that would be perfect. So then we can go all the small things, and then to our F like so. Truthlet. I did have a copy of these lyrics up somewhere. Let's have a look, because I'm terrible with lyrics. Yeah, so it's going to go something like this if you play it in this position. If you're feeling confident to do it in this or like that, brilliant. So it's going to sound a little something like this. All the small things, truth cares, truth brings. I'll take one lift, you're right, best trip, like, yeah. And the chorus is just on a C. Say it ain't so, I will not to G go. Turn the lights off, and then to our cheating F if you want to do it, like so, and then to our G, like that. And if you just go on search all the small things tabs, or search all the small things chords, you should come up with those, and you'll be able to follow the lyrics and change chord as you see it progressing. Let me just get back on. Yeah, that. Yeah, so what from there, I'd just like to ask if anyone has any questions, because I was thinking of songs for us to do, because I know we like to play songs in our sessions, and so I was maybe thinking at the end of the sessions that we could put it into a vote, and so at the end of the session, people can leave a comment if everyone has their own suggestions for a song for us to maybe cover, and then everyone can take a little vote, and the most popular song, we'll take that into account. And if it's within our sort of skill level that we're sort of at the minute, we can go into that and we can give it a go. So if you want to leave that in the comments, so I'm just gonna have a look at some of these comments now. If your guitar's not sounding right, I imagine it'll be something to do with the tuning. So, as I said at the start of this lesson, there's a few apps if you have a smartphone, or if not, if you've got if you're at home and you've got the internet, if you just type in online guitar tuner, you should come up with it should come up with a tuner, and you click on a tuner on the string, and it'll play the note, and you just take your note. So, for example, this low E string here, and I just match it to that. I just match it up. So I take the tuning peg and I tune up or down if I was sharp or if I was flat. Yeah. Any more questions? Let's have a look on here. Yeah, so like I said, guys, in terms of songs they want to do, I think if you leave a song suggestion in the comments next to us, and we can have a look at them, and we can, like I said, we can take a vote, and then as next week and as the sessions progress, we can go through the songs, and we can, yeah, hopefully get better. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Um, and I'll see you next week for week 3.